So here's the mandolin. Now, probably the hardest thing that's going to happen to you when you buy a mandolin is you're going to have to tune it. Now, I'm not going to do that because I would sort of have to be there for you. I'll tell you the notes, and hopefully you can get it tuned on your own somehow, get a friend, get the music store to do it. But that's something we'll have to deal with in the long term. Anyhow, let me show you what's going on. So, the mandolin has 8 strings. You've got double sets of strings. Each double set is called a course. So, we start out with the lowest string, lowest 2 strings, that's a G. The same G as the 3rd string on a guitar. And then the next 2 strings are both Ds. So yes, the strings are tuned in unison. And then the next string is an A, or strings. And then the last 2 strings are E's. So G, D, A, E. Okay? Now let me show you some very simple chords. Chords are where you're playing groups of notes together. So we'll start out with a G chord. So with a G chord, I'll get a little closer so you can see what's going on here. We're going to take our pointer finger and we're going to put it at the 2nd fret of the A string. That's the 2nd string, or second 2 strings I should say. Right there. And then your middle finger is going to go on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And the strings are numbered from thinnest, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So 1st strings, 3rd fret, 2nd strings, 2nd fret, and you strum them all. You get a G chord. Yay! Okay, let's do a C chord. A C chord, you just move everything over 1 string. So now you have the 2nd fret on this 3rd string and the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. So you have the D string on the 2nd fret, you have the A string on the 3rd fret. Strum all 4, that's a C chord. And then a D chord, a little different. You play the low strings, the G string on the 2nd fret, and then the top string on the 2nd fret. So middle 2 strings you aren't touching. 1st and 4th you're on the 2nd fret. Strum along. So that's a D. A couple of other useful chords. An F. This is a bit of a stretch. 1st fret on the 1st string, skip the 2nd string, then you go to the 3rd fret on that D string, and then all the way over to the 5th fret on the low G string. Some people use their pinky for that last one. So we've done a G, a C, a D, an F. I'll give you a few minor chords as well. An E minor, you take a G chord. Now, there's a lot of ways of doing this. Here's the easiest way that you'll see on these mandolin chord charts. By the way, I recommend going to mandolincafe.com. They've got a whole page of 2-finger mandolin chords. So E minor is the middle 2 strings on the 2nd fret. Which my fingers are so big I can't even do it. See, can't do it. So what I do is I take a G chord, which is the 1st chord we learned, and then I take my pointer finger and I smush it on the middle 2 strings on the 2nd fret. So I've got the D string on the 2nd fret, the A string on the 2nd fret, and then the E string on the 3rd fret, and I strum all. So that's an E minor. Take that same shape, move it over one string or up towards the ceiling one string. So the bottom two strings, the low G and the low D, are both on the second fret, smushed. And then your middle finger is on the third fret of the A string. Same thing, you play that. You can either let that high string ring or you can just let it get muted out. And another way to play the A minor that's easier, no smushing your fingers, is second fret on the D string and fifth fret on the G string. Okay? And one more minor. We had a D chord, which was this. The D minor, you take that high note on the first string and you're dropping it down one fret. So you have to sort of reverse your fingers. That's a D minor. Okay? So let me give you a couple of scales. The mandolin is pretty cool because the scales are very, I think I call them symmetric. They're very easy to learn. So let's start with the low G. Play a G major scale. So starting with that low string, which is the fourth string, the G, you play it open, then second fret, then fourth fret, and fifth fret. So again, I'm just going up using one finger each time, a different finger each time. So open, then index finger, second fret, middle finger, fourth fret, ring finger, fifth fret. And then next string over the D string, exactly the same thing. Open, index second, middle finger fourth, and ring finger fifth. So all together you get it's a G major scale. Now, this is pretty cool. You can play that same pattern starting on the next string, starting on this D string right here. You can see right there. So I start with that string open, second fret, fourth fret, fifth fret, then the A strings open, second, fourth, fifth. So exactly the same pattern that we just used for the G. Now we're starting on the D string, and we get a D major scale. And of course you can go backwards. And then you start them on the A string, which is the second string, second pair of strings. And you do the same thing. Open, second, fourth, fifth, open, second, fourth, fifth. So all those scales are played exactly the same way, but just starting on different strings. And one other set of scales that I'll show you that's pretty easy are called pentatonic scales. Pentatonic's 5 notes. Penta, 5, tonic, tones or notes. It's in Greek. Anyhow, so let's do G, starting with G again. So you go open, second, third, and then you skip the fifth fret and go directly to the next string. And then second fret on that string, and then to the fifth. So it sounds like this. If you do it with this rhythm, you get My Girl. Backwards. So again, that pattern is open, second fret, fourth fret, go to the next string, open, second fret, fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that's your new G. So you have 5 different notes. 2, 3, 4, 5, then new note, new root note. Okay, and that works the same way. You can start it on any string. Start on the D. You get a D major pentatonic. And again, both these work forwards or backwards. And then the A string. Those are extremely useful. When you see people playing bluegrass, you'll hear these. A lot of those are pentatonic scales because they're easy to learn and you can play them quickly. Okay, so there you go. Have fun.